Hi, my name is Phoebe Masembe, and yeah, I hate that question because it makes it look like I don't have much going on, so I don't have much to say. But yeah, I am Phoebe Masembe. I am a friend of Jesus, and he's my friend. I'm a medical student in my third year now, and yeah, that's enough information. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, gonna be fast. So, it goes. Which key is hardest to turn?
Which key is hardest to turn? Which key is hardest to turn? The key to my heart?
That's a good one, but no, I'm not gonna say
I don't know. I don't have the answer.
Alright, it's the donkey.
Wow, promise. Wow.
Anyways, so I want us to go to straight into what we're going to talk about today, which is grief.
Mm-hmm.
And first things first, like, is there anything such as grief for a Christian?
Mm-hmm. True. There is such a thing as grief. Yeah, like I think there are those things that happen in the world, not because you're Christian, not because you're not a Christian, but they happen. Like the world has exactly, it's a fallen world. There are things that you don't have to do much to make them happen. You don't have to do anything to make them happen. So being Christian or not being Christian doesn't take them out of, for example, bathing. If you're a non-Christian and you're saying you're not bathing because you're not Christian, go bathe. But yeah, just yeah.
Yes, I get you. So, thank you for that.
Mm.
Now, I believe you've gone through grieving,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to tell us just like a word or something that describes your grieving process.
I want to say alone. That is the word I would use. And it's such ironic because that is the time where family comes to be with you. Everyone wants to be with you and people are around you. So it's not that you're lonely, but you're alone, that this is your thing alone. You might have lost someone together. Like let's say we lost a mother who was a mother to 5 of us. So it's not that we are feeling this same thing together. Like I alone know exactly what is going on with me. So how I can define, one word to define my grieving process is alone. That is just like a cup for just you to carry. Like it is yours. People are going to help you, but at the end of the day, it is yours. Yeah.
All right. So, I believe that no one can fully understand like
Mm-hmm.
the grieving process for someone.
Yeah.
But could you tell us like one of the ways that you've coped up?
Mm.
Because it's your burden to carry.
Mm-hmm.
You managed to carry it for a year now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the same question as how have you not died? Because yeah, it's like that's such a possible thing. Like how have I not lost it? How am I here and like I've not committed suicide, you could say. And this is not to cause any alarm that I'm suicidal, guys. I'm not. But one of the ways I have coped is involving myself more in the things of God. And that goes to like the principles, the basics of reading my word and praying and talking to him as frequently as I can, more than I did. But then also when it comes to, I have the blessing, an opportunity to serve in the Collective Uganda. And I think one of the ways I decided to do right from the get-go is I'm going to involve myself more. Like I'm going to be more swallowed up by the things of God, because being around, a community of believers is encouraging enough, even if they're not talking about, what you're going through. But every time I go, I know I'm going to gain something, or I'm going to do something with people, or, I'm going to have this responsibility, keeping myself busy. I think I'm such a busybody. Like, I like to have things to do. Like, if I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what am I going to do today? And I don't have anything on my list, that day sucks already. Like, I like knowing, today I'm doing this. Sometimes I complain a lot about it, but I know I love it deep down. So that was one of the things I did. And I remember a friend of mine told me that same thing right at the beginning, that don't isolate yourself. And that is something I've been very intentional about, and by not isolating yourself, it's not saying again, go hang out with people that are not good for you, or, people who are doing things that are not good for you, because you may end up doing things that may make you, that are making you feel pity for yourself, but they're not the right things, because you may end up hanging out with people who are going to get you drunk silly, because, and maybe they're coming out of a good heart. They want you to forget your problems temporarily, but again, that is not what you want to. Exactly. So by isolate yourself, I don't mean engage yourself in everything, but engage yourself in the things of God, because He's in everything and He's going to help you in everything. Yeah, that's how I've coped.
Right, that's beautiful. Many people, when they are grieving, they tend to hate God or blame everything on Him. So, how how has your perspective, your knowledge of God, how has it changed? How has it increased in during your grieving process?
I think one of the things that we mentioned early on, from right the point Mommy died, it was like, we can't pretend to have other options. Like, yes, God has done this thing, or has let this thing happen, this thing that we don't understand, but I'm not going to pretend that I have these other options, that, okay, God, for you it's a no, now let me try this other guy. Like, we knew it from the start that all we had was God. We may not understand, but He's the only one we are able to run to. He's the only one we can trust. And I think that, talking of trust, it gave me a more open understanding of what trust is. Trusting God is not, God, I believe you for a car, you're going to give me that car. It is trusting that He can do it, but if He doesn't do it, it's because He is God and He wants the best for you, and he knows this big picture that you don't know. And also looking at it as, God is my God, but He was also my mom's God, so as He was choosing the best for everyone, and not just me, like all the people that were affected by her death, like He's the God of each of these people, and He has the big picture, a big picture I may never understand. And that's something I've accepted. Like, some people want to make you think that you can always figure it out, but sometimes, like, there are things that we're never going to figure out. Like, I may never know why God let it happen. I wish He didn't let it happen, but I trust that He knows the big picture that I don't know. He loves me more than I love myself. He loves me more than my mom loved me. So I can trust Him. Like, I can trust that He knows what He's doing. I can trust that He's going to hold me through this. And that was the thing. I was like, God, you let this happen, so I know you're here. Like, you knew you were going to let this happen, so I know exactly you got a plan. Like, I trust you that much. So that's how I chose to look at it. And I think even like my general perspective on life, how it has been changed from that one, or like through my grieving process, is to be kind. Like, I don't think I was unkind before, but I think it has helped me be more intentional with being kind. You don't know what people are going through. I remember the moment after she had passed, by the grace of God and the love He poured on us through people, a lot of people sent money to our different phones. So there's a time I had a lot of money on my phone, and Paul was about to go back to school. I think that was like 2 weeks after Mom had, gone to heaven. And I go driving to this supermarket. I get out of the car. I get a trolley with my brother. We pack everything. He's picking everything he wants. We go to the cashier. I pull out my phone. And I was thinking, someone may look at this and they're like, look at these bougie kids, They they're young, they're driving, they're getting everything they want. And that was what made me realize you never know what people are going through. That just because you're seeing this side of them that looks all glamorous, that is all and that is reason enough to be kind. Yeah, that has been like a huge thing in how I see life.
Wow, that's so insightful. So also, in what ways or what would you have to say to someone who has lost a loved one? Regardless of being a mother, a friend, a cousin, what would you say to them?
I'm trying to think of what would I have wanted to be told, and I'm asking myself, what wasn't I told? It's like everything I would want to say I was told. But well, if you're Christian, and I think I want to speak about this in both perspectives. If you're not Christian, I really believe Jesus is our only source of help. If you're Christian, Jesus is your friend. He's so much of your friend that he like in that moment he hasn't left. In that moment, like he wants to be your friend. There's a scripture that I love so much. I think it's definitely one of my favorites. Let me read it for us. It is in Psalms. Hope I haven't lost it. It's Psalms 27 verse 8. Says, my heart has heard you say, come and talk with me. And my heart responds, Lord, I am coming. Like, you know how when you're going through a tough situation and your friend asks, do you want to talk? This is how this verse is to me. Like, God wants, like, it's not even just about him wanting to like fix you. Because, sometimes you want someone to listen to you. And I think grief is one of those things that I know it can't be fixed because nothing is ever going to take away, I miss my mom. I wish she was here. That is not, God is not going to make that go away because he knows I loved my mom. I would also not want to exist without missing my mom. But that friend that wants to listen, like, come talk with me. And it's like my heart has heard you say, come talk with me. Like, that is how much he is our friend. So I want to tell anyone who has experienced loss, God is your friend and he wants to be there. He's there. He wants you to recognize it. And he wants you to just pour yourself out there. Like, go cry. Go tell him how your day was. Tell him, oh, today, by the way, was a better day. Oh, today, this really reminded me of, Mom. This was, like, he's that much of your friend and he wants, like, he's not feeling burdened by, oh, it's Phoebe again with her sad stories. Can't she move on? That is not who he is. He's your friend. So if you've experienced loss, yeah, that is what I can say. And then to someone who is not Christian, I really highly recommend Jesus. That is like, I really pray and hope you can see that Jesus is it. Like, Jesus is the help that you need. But one of the things Jesus guided us to do in helping us was seek help. It could be medical help. It could be social help. Like, acknowledge that the place that you're in is vulnerable. Don't feel like you're going to figure it out on your own. Also, being alone puts you in such a tight spot. Already your heart is broken. So, like, the devil is not like, oh, Bambi, Phoebe is broken enough. Let me not tamper with her. He's going to come with more. So you don't want to be isolated. You don't want to be vulnerable and lonely and left to yourself, because the devil will plant these ugly ideas in your head and you don't want that. So seek help. Feel like it's not a weakness to say I need help. It's actually courage. So have the courage to ask for help. Yeah, that is what I would say to anyone that has lost someone.
Alright.
Yeah.
Will you tell us anything else, about grief that
Mm-hmm.
you don't share, but then you'd love to share with us
Mm-hmm.
as we come into the end of the conversation?
I remember, right? We had not started Bibleversations, but we still had the idea of a YouTube channel. And I remember going through, loss, and I was like, I need to start a YouTube channel to tell people to be sensitive. People are so insensitive. But then I've grown to understand that insensitivity doesn't necessarily come from a place that wants to hurt you, but it comes from a place that is not intentional with doing the right thing. Like the person is not intending to do the bad thing, but they're not intentional about doing the good thing. So the natural thing is to be insensitive. Like people say things and you're like, you shouldn't have said that. And maybe their aim wasn't to hurt you, but because they didn't think about what they were going to say. So this is just a word to everyone. On top of being kind, be sensitive. Like don't be rude without even knowing you are rude. Don't hurt. People are already broken. Like I said, we've shared our story, but not everyone shares their story, and everyone goes through different things. Maybe it's not grief, but everyone needs you to be sensitive. Like, no, also, like, I'm not saying never talk about anything, but understand this is the proximity I have with this person. I'm able to talk about this. Like, me and this person are not close enough. They're not going to receive this information in a loving way. So better you shut up. Like, I'm also saying that in a kind way. Like, just please be sensitive and kind. That is what I would say to everyone. Yeah. And also, people who haven't experienced grief, as like, let's say, don't think that is like your life is not okay. This is giving from experience. I had never experienced anything like terrible in my life, and I've really had like a good life going for most of it. And I remember there's a time I thought, I don't think my life is significant. Like, I don't have a story. I don't have that big testimony of, you guys, this was my life. I went through this. And I felt like, like me, like I don't measure up with other Christians. Others have, these great testimonies, or maybe I was in the world, I did this. By the grace of God, that is not my story. But you have a story, and Jesus is the hero in your story, whether it's grief, whether it's heartbreak, whether it's pain, whatever it is. God is personal. He doesn't look at you as for you're in Luganda, you would call it chejo. For you, you're being a baby about things. People are going through tougher things, and that's one of the things people tell you, that for you're crying, you've lost one parent. Me, I lost two. God is not looking at you in comparison like that. So like, don't feel like suppressed and you're like, oh, these guys are talking about grief, meaning my life doesn't have a story. No, your life, Jesus is the hero in your story, just as he is a hero in my story, and that's what matters.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. That's so beautiful. Jesus is the hero in your story.
You're not the hero.
You're not the hero.
Yeah.
You're challenged. Big testimony.
So you're not a bigger hero because you've gone through what you call worse.
Yeah,
Jesus is the hero.
He is or is the hero.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Phoebe.
You're welcome.
So would you please tell our friends to subscribe, like, follow, comment, just tell them.
If by the time you see my face, you don't get the memo, then anyways, subscribe, hit the like button, share with a friend, guys. Pass this message on. Like, that is like, I'm imagining you may have a friend going through grief. Feel free to pass this message to them. Never know, it may help. And yeah, like, just spread the word, guys. And I highly recommend Jesus. Yeah, subscribe to Jesus too. Bye. Do you think it worked well? Hagu scarf. Let's take away hagu scarf. Tie your okay.